Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back for a most ridiculous slime video today. Because in my Discord a couple days ago, I saw someone post a team that beat MILIM, which, is, very good. MILIM is regarded as the hardest stage in the game. But what made this interesting is that he did it, or they did it, because I don't know, in 3 turns. A 3-turn MILIM clear. And I saw that and I said, bet. We are gonna do that. It didn't happen that day, and it certainly didn't happen yesterday. But dear Lord, did I try. And I have been at this for about 4 hours today. Over 4 hours, actually. So if you enjoy all of my pain and suffering, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, do all that jazz. However, we have done it. We have done it. Now, the gameplay that you're about to see is very obviously pre-recorded because I'm not going to sit here and subject you to 4.5 hours worth of gameplay, even at like 10 times speed, and that just wouldn't be a fun video. So, I just was recording all of the runs, and we are going to clip out the ones that were successful. I have 2 teams that I'm going to show you that can do this. They're relatively the same. You must have all 3 of the current Earth meta units, but it did work. One was turn 4, and one was turn 3. So, with this, introduction out of the way, I'll let you know that we used Soe. We used Hakuro, and don't worry about the 84, I shoved some shards into him just to get his damage up a little more because he wasn't cutting it at level 80. And we used Hakuro, who I also put some shards into because level 80 wasn't cutting it. So, sacrifices had to be made for this video. But yes, so those were the main 3. And then the other units were kind of up in the air as between the 2 teams. So you'll see how the teams are built. I'll go over them as I commentate on the gameplay. But without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, here we are starting out, going into Conquest, going into MILIM, and this is the team here. I'll pause. This is the team. We've got Hakuro, we've got Earth MILIM, we've got Guy, Space Rimuru, Soe, and Benimaru. Now, obviously Hakuro's here because of what he can do, changing to oranges, giving us skill points. Earth MILIM's here, 1, for her orb change, just in case we don't get too lucky on the come out, and also for her protection gauge, and also because her normal attacks hit very hard. And in this kind of scenario, you need as much damage as you can. And quite honestly, her AoE is gonna do more than Benimaru's AoE, I'll tell you that much. They're both attack growth. She's level 100, she has 6-star gear. Her AoE would be better. Guy is here for the ult boost and crit resistance down. Now, Soe does also lower crit resistance, but Guy does it at 20%, not 10%, so you get that little extra boost there. And then we have Rimuru for the attack buff, and then Soe and Benimaru for the DPS as well. So let's unpause this, and we'll move out. So this is the 4-turn kill video right here. Because sometimes you get lucky, and a lot of times you get unlucky. And a lot of this time, I got really unlucky. So, I did what I could. I recorded the 4-turn, I was like, okay, well, we can probably still do it. And then I proceeded to go for 4.5 hours and not get it. But we get a very, very good opening hand right here. 5 MILIM cards. We could send it, but we're not. We're going to bring in Benimaru. We're going to use that Orb Steal to make sure that he gets a 6-card send right here. And now, we're going to bring in Soe. There we go. And then we're going to send all of this, because this guarantees him an ult, and guarantees us a Hakuro gauge. Which means that next turn, unless, Soe doesn't die, we can get him out, and we can bring someone else back in and get their ult. Because we have Hakuro, who can change all of these into oranges. And I don't know if you saw that hand, but it looked real good. And also, really glad she didn't just kill Soe outright. But we have an entire hand an entire hand of Rimuru cards, which means we can freely swap in Benimaru and just not even worry about it. We can not even worry about it. We'll bring in, MILIM. I maybe could have swapped in MILIM instead of Benimaru because, again, her ult would have hit harder, but it is what it is. Actually, no, we do get it. What am I talking about? I'm going crazy. However, we don't have to use Hakuro here, because the important thing if you're going to look for killing on turn 3 is you need 2 Hakuro gauges. You need 1 on turn 2 and 1 on turn 3. And by not having to use it this turn, ensures that we will have it for turn 3. So we've used the boost for the oranges just to give us that little extra bit of damage right there. Obviously, we're going to get a full protection meter times 2. Obviously going to get an AoE ult with MILIM. So we're looking pretty good. 9,000 on that final hit. Decent damage. I mean, her health is doing pretty good for, not having ults and not having counters. Guy is almost dead. We got really lucky there. But now the fun begins, because we can go ahead and use the ult boost here, which will affect everyone. We'll bring in Soe for Benimaru, because he's not serving a purpose here anymore. Eventually. Jesus Christ, I was thinking hard or something. Alright, so we've used Guy's ult boost. Now we'll bring in Space Rimuru for the attack boost, which we don't currently have enough points for. However, we have 2 Hakuro gauges. 2, not just 1, 2. That's 80 points right there, just free and easy. So we've got 69 points, nice. So we'll go ahead and use the attack boost here. Or no, we'll try, and then we'll pop Hakuro again. Give us that nice full 100 points right there. And now we can use both the crit and the attack boost. And the defense. Why not? For surezies. Alright, so MILIM is double boosted. Soe is triple boosted. We have a full 6 card send, which granted is not going to do too much because they're nerfed, but a lot of them are Soe cards, which are guaranteed crits. She has 72,000 health left. So MILIM's ult does 21,000, and Soe does 40.5. And then she has, a decent amount of health pool left over, but all of our oranges are nerfed. So 2,700 on that last hit. She has a sliver of health, but it's not the turn 3 kill. However, we have a decent amount of cards here. So, what can we do? Who do we have on the back line that is decent DPS and has type advantage and could maybe possibly take her out? Oh, Benimaru. Right. So, let's bring Benny in, and let's go ahead and just send these 4 Benimaru cards right here. After some thinking, because I have no points and no protection meter left. This is pretty much it. If I don't kill her here because she guards all 4, which, trust me, she can, and she will at the worst possible times, it would be very unfortunate if that happened here. Thankfully, it doesn't. But we're thinking, we're not quite sure, but now we're going to send it, and we're just going to pray. And that did not help my anxiety. But with that final hit, we did manage to take her out 4 turns here. A lot of RNG dependency right here. But let's move on to the real RNG dependent part, which is the turn 3 kill. And we are back. Now we're going back into EX MILIM, of course. And right here, you will see that our team comp has changed just a tad. Just a tiny bit. This is the original team that I saw completed in 3 turns. And after attempting the 3 turns with the other team that I had going, I finally decided to switch it up and use the actual team that the person who originally did this used. So now we have Phobio for the crit resistance down. We have Dark Veldora because he gives the 60% ult boost, but the pierce resistance down, which doesn't really matter because no one here is gonna, pierce with help. We don't have a pierce card. If we do happen to pierce, then cool. Awesome, but it's not really something we're banking on. But we're banking on that extra 10% on the ult boost and the extra, I think, 13% that Phobio brings, because I have him at level 9. So he would normally do 25% crit resistance down if I had him at level 10, but right now I don't, so he's at 23%, which is, again, 13% higher than what Soe is going to do, or 3% higher than what Guy is going to do. So I'm offsetting the minimal gain from Guy for the extra 10% on Veldora. And then Space Rimuru is here because of the attack boost, and then Soe and Benimaru are here because they're the DPS now. So, let's unpause this. It's still the same setup, though. You still have the same strategy going, where you want a Hakuro gauge both turn 2 and turn 3, because that will guarantee you have enough points to use all of the boosts, and literally nothing else. So, let's enter the battle now. Let's take a look at our cards right here, and we again have the 4 for Rimuru and 2 for Veldora, which is perfect. So now, I don't know what we're doing there, we're going to bring in, not Soe, Benimaru for Rimuru. Come on, there we go. I always play so slow when I try and commentate, I go so fast. We have used the Orb Steel now. So here, you could bring in Soe. You could. Or you could just send with the Benimaru, because you're guaranteed to get one of their ults. And you need both of their ults, because we don't have Earth MILIM on the team anymore. She's as a supporter for the passive, but she's not here for damage now. Because we need Phobio on here. So he takes that slot. But now, because we already have an ult guaranteed for Benimaru, we can freely swap him out. And before we do, we will not forget to use the orange boost. And then we'll swap him for Soe, because 3 cards here with the boost, with the 6 card send from Hakuro. We're also swapping out Veldora so he doesn't die, hopefully. I mean, Rimuru very obviously has a very high chance of dying anyways, but we'll use the defense to kind of skirt around that. We have a 6 card send. We have 2 cards for Rimuru, 3 cards for Soe, which guarantees us actually both Soe's ult and Rimuru's ult here, which is essential, because when I was running this, I would always get 2 ults, and it wouldn't always be enough. Every single time I'd be like 5,000 points of HP off. So here is where the problem is, because right here, you can see our health, right? She could decide to just kill Soe, or Phobio, or Rimuru. She could, and did a lot, murder someone on turn 3, just because she hated them. 4 hits will kill anyone on this team, because we do not have pierce resistance, we do not have guard, and as much as I love to pop that defensive skill right there, if she hates someone enough, they will die. So, thankfully, she decided to spread out the damage for this one run, and that allowed us to survive, which guarantees our win, because we have 2 ults. And we have a full Hakuro gauge because of the passive of Space Rimuru, giving us 6 points on turn 3, and I think Soe has Wind MILIM attached to him, so they both give the protection gauge every 3 turns, which allowed us, because we were originally like right here on the protection gauge, but because we have these 2, it's now pushed us over into a full meter, which guarantees that we can do this, as long as nothing terrible happens, because one time something terrible did happen, and she guarded something at the very end, and it made me quite sad. But I only had 2 ults, I think, on that run. But we have used Phobio's crit resistance down. We will bring in Veldora, and we will use his ult boost. And then we will bring in Benimaru for Veldora, and now we have 3 ults. We have Hakuro to use now, which will get us 40 points. And put us at 55. We've already used the crit buff for Soe, so literally 0 points. We have nothing. Everything is on the table. Triple ults and 3 nerfed oranges. And here we go. This is it. This is for all the marbles right here. Thankfully, Rimuru crit for 18,000, which is great. Benimaru doesn't crit, but he still does 17,300. And then Soe comes in and finishes with 48,500 damage. We did not even need those nerfed oranges. Dear Lord, that took like 4.5 goddamn hours to finish, and it was driving me slightly mad. But it is possible. I have video evidence right here of a turn 4 and a turn 3 kill. You don't need defense, you don't need guard, you just need the new meta units. And a massive amount of luck to do this. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.